everybody was such a great dance. And he was right. Yeah, yeah, very much so. Very much so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a big
Yes. I was able to sign in from my app again. And it's there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not level enough. No, I think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember, like last.
Mm-hmm.
That can be the.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a quorum.
All right, let's stand up and cheer. Yay,
Sorry. I walk across the parking lot.
I'll be there. Oh, God. I feel, this is pretty good. She gives me, like a couple days.
How you doing?
How are you? Good afternoon. All right.
It's stirring up. Out. Water.
I think you like regular cheers and cheers.
Okay, so good afternoon and welcome to. Okay, so good. All right, so good afternoon and welcome to the June 25th, 2024 meeting of the Local Agency Formation Commission of Santa Clara County. Santa Clara LAFCO strongly denounces hate speech and does not tolerate disruptive behavior in our meetings. LAFCO prides itself on the rich diversity of our residents. We are committed to creating a culture of belonging where members of our diverse community feel included, safe, and respected. This LAFCO meeting is considered a limited public forum, which means the Commission can regulate the time, place, and manner of speech to prevent our meetings from being disrupted. This protects the rights of other speakers and ensures that LAFCO can accomplish its business in a reasonably efficient manner. This meeting is being held in person at 70 West Heading Street, San Jose. As a courtesy and technology permitting, members of the public may also attend by virtual teleconference. However, LAFCO cannot guarantee that the public's access to teleconferencing technology will be uninterrupted, and technical difficulties may occur from time to time. Unless required by the Brown Act, the meeting will continue despite technical difficulties for participants using the teleconferencing option. Members of the public in the chambers who wish to address the Commission on an item should complete a request to speak form and place it in the designated tray in the front of the dais. Individual speakers will be called to speak in turn. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Members of the public who are attending the meeting by virtual teleconference and wish to address the Commission should use the raise hand feature. Those participating by phone should dial *9. Staff will call on you by name or by the last 4 digits of the phone number and unmute each speaker in turn at the appropriate time. Written public comments will be distributed to the Commission and posted to the online agenda, but will not be read out loud. So we're ready for a roll call. Recording Secretary, can you please do the roll call?
Yes. Chairperson Melton,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Arenas, Commissioner Bell.
Here.
Commissioner Kamei. Here. Commissioner Kishimoto. Commissioner Lee. Commissioner Trumbull. Alternate Commissioner Candelas. Alternate Commissioner Chapman.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Chavez. Alternate Commissioner O'Neill.
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Turner.
Here.
Okay, great.
Little echo, I just want to throw that in there.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chair, with 5 present.
Fantastic.
Alternate Commissioner Chapman voting in place of Commissioner Kishimoto, and alternate Commissioner O'Neill voting in place of Commissioner Trumbull.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to agenda item number 2, public comments. This is the time for any member of the public to address the Commission on matters that are not on the agenda, provided that the matter is within the Commission's subject matter jurisdiction. Speakers in the chambers will be called first, followed by speakers participating virtually. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. For those in chambers, if you wish to address the Commission on this item, fill out a request to speak form and place it in the tray. Place it in the tray. And then, Emmanuel, can you help me see if we have any request to speak forms? I see none. Sonia, do we have anybody attending by Zoom who wishes to speak on this item?
There are no speakers at this time by Zoom,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. With that, I'm ready to close public comments, and we're going to move on to agenda item 3, which is approval of the consent calendar. So far, we have item 4 on consent, approved minutes. Item 6, West Valley Sanitation District 2024-01 Big Basin. And item 7, West Valley Sanitation District 2024-02 High Street, proposed for the consent calendar. I would also propose to my colleagues, if they concur, that we also add agenda item 9.1, report on 2024 Clara LAFCO staff workshop to the consent agenda. Let's see, this is the time for any member of the public to address the Commission on matters that are included in the consent calendar. And I see no members of the public for consent calendar. Sonia, do we have anybody on Zoom?
Nobody on Zoom at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so then,
Approval as amended, please.
thank you. Commissioner Bell with a second by Commissioner Kamei. We have a motion and a second. Sonia, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Okay. Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Kameh. Alternate Commissioner Chapman,
Aye.
and then alternate Commissioner O'Neill.
Aye.
And then Chairperson Melton?
Yes.
Okay, great. We have a quorum, again, 5 in favor of.
Motion
Mr. Chair.
carries. Thank you very much, Sonia. Appreciate it. We're going to move on to agenda item number 5, final budget for FY 2025. And do we have a staff report?
Chair Melton, I'll keep it very, very brief. There are no changes to the proposed budget, so we brought forward the proposed budget as the final budget for fiscal year 2025. And as directed by the Commission at the last meeting, we have revised the work plan to include development of policies for ag worker housing needs. And that revised work plan is attached to the staff report as attachment C.
Thank you for that staff report. Next up is a public hearing. We're going to open the public hearing. I do not see anybody in chamber. Sonia, do we have anybody on Zoom for this item?
No, there are no speakers at this time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing and open for commission discussion or a motion. Okay, so we have a motion to approve from Commissioner Bell. Thank you. We have a second from Kameh. Any further discussion on this agenda item? Seeing none, Sonia, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Kameh? Aye. Alternate Commissioner Chapman?
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner O'Neill?
Aye.
And then alternate Chairperson Melton.
Yes.
Great. So we have 5 in favor of.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Next up is agenda item 8, implementation of recommendations from LAFCO's countywide fire service review. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, I'll keep it very brief. Pleased to report that we did receive responses from the city of Santa Clara and the city of Gilroy. I understand some of our commissioners reached out to our cities and helped facilitate that response, so thank you so much. Want to also report that we started meeting with the fire districts about the areas that are outside of a local fire service provider to talk about potential boundary changes, and we had one preliminary meeting. We have many more scheduled, so we'll continue to update you should we move forward in some way with those boundary changes. And then the last thing I wanted to just report on is about, we had at our last meeting several residents from the city of Saratoga come and express some concerns about speed bumps that were planned or actually installed, I think, on their road, Mendelson Lane. And although this is not in LAFCO's jurisdiction, we attempted to get some kind of clarity or further information. We reached out to the city of Saratoga, and they provided a response, which is in your packet. We also reached out to the Santa Clara County Central Fire District, and they too have provided a response. As the city of Saratoga noted, they're aware of this issue. The residents did appeal the plans, and the city decided to move forward and install those speed bumps. And that project's been completed. And so at this point, we understand that there's still a lot of concerns, and we would encourage those residents to reach out directly to the city and to the district about this matter, and to, if they have any questions about the information in terms of those responses we received, to again reach out directly to those agencies for further clarity. So that is my report. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dunia, for that staff report. We're going to open the public hearing on this item. I'm doing a scan here in chambers for request to speak forms. I do not see any. Sonia, do we have any speakers on Zoom for this item?
Yes, we do have 2 speakers on Zoom at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
The first speaker is Jay Logan. And, no? Oh, I'm sorry. No one raised their hands. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They're just here.
Very good.
virtually, sorry about that. So we have no speakers willing.
Thank you very much. So seeing no request to speak forms here in council, here in chambers, and no raised hands on Zoom, I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back to the LAFCO board. I'll just start off by saying, if I may, when we left this topic 2 months ago, we were hoping to hear back from the city of Santa Clara, and lo and behold, without any action that I'm aware of, just organically, oh, Teresa, maybe you had something to do with this, but very quickly after that, we got a response from the city of Santa Clara. That was great. And then I called Mayor Marie Blanky down in the city of Gilroy, and within 24 hours, she and the city administrator had prepared their response. So I'm really grateful to the city of Santa Clara and the city of Gilroy for just helping us put a bow on this in terms of the responses. And I just felt like I wanted to say that. Is there any other commission discussion, I wonder, on this topic? Of course, Commissioner Kamei.
I just want to, echo your words in terms of thanking Gilroy and Santa Clara. I think it's important to have that community, that engagement with the cities or whatever entity it is that we are seeking input from, because I think that at the end of the day, it is that input that also helps us do a better job. So thank you for doing that. I think it's critically important, and it makes a big difference, I think. So thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you for those words, Commissioner Kamei. Any other thoughts or comments? Otherwise, I think we're looking for a motion to accept the report.
I'll make the motion.
I would second.
Thank you. So motion by Chapman, second by Kamei. Any further discussions? Seeing none, Sonia, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Kamei?
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner Chapman?
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner O'Neill?
Aye.
And then Chairperson Melton.
Yes.
Okay, great. We have 5 in favor of item number 8.
Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to move on now to agenda item 9.2, 2024 LAFCO Annual Conference, October 16th to October 18th. Do we have a staff report?
I guess I'll do it. So this coming October, LAFCO will be having its annual conference, October 16th to the 18th. This is a great opportunity for commissioners to gather and share their best practices, learn from other LAFCOs, and I guess I would encourage all commissioners to attend. It's going to be at the Tenaya Lodge in Fish Camp in Yosemite. And we are asking for authorization for commissioners and staff to attend the conference and to direct that the expenses be funded by the LAFCO budget for fiscal year 2025.
Okay. Thank you, Dania, for the staff report. Let's bring it back to the commission to see if we have any questions. Dunia, can you give me a hand here? Do we need to identify any individuals by name as to who's going, or do you just need a count of?
I think we just need an authorization, and then we will follow up with commissioners and kind of give you a deadline in which we want to hear from you in terms of your plans, so that we can register you and pay the expenses. And so I think we're just looking for an authorization at this point.
Thank you, Dunia. So let's bring it back to the commission.
Unless there are questions.
Thank you. Okay, let's bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Kamei.
Yes. So I had the privilege of attending last year, and I want to say that it was really, really informative as a first-time LAFCO commissioner. I also learned a lot in terms of what other LAFCOs are doing, and I know that we're all a little bit different, but there are some similarities, and there was a lot of sharing of what has worked, what has not, best practices, and so I would encourage my fellow commissioners to consider going and learning from others, as well as learning some of the best practices. So I would certainly move approval of any of those who may want to attend.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So we have a motion on the floor. Looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. Yeah, before we do a roll call vote, I'll just jump in and concur with everything that I heard Commissioner Kamei say. I typically find, having served on 7 years on LAFCO, I can go every other year. I went last year. I'm not going to be able to make it this year. But for all the reasons stated by Commissioner Kamei, the information sharing, knowledge, best practices, definitely a worthwhile thing to do if that's in the cards for any commissioner's particular schedule. So let's do a scan for any final thoughts or comments on this item. And Commissioner Turner, what's on your mind?
Just a heads up that it is the same days as the League of California Cities Conference. So it could be a little conflict there, but just a heads up.
There you go. 2 awesome conferences all packed together in one schedule. There you go. Any other thoughts or comments? Seeing none. Sonia, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Kamei? Aye. Alternate Commissioner Chapman?
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner O'Neill?
Aye.
And then Chairperson Melton.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, we do have 5 in support, none opposed.
Okay, thank you very much. Dunia and Nilima, is it okay if I roll 9.3 and 9.4 together into one item here? Okay.
Sure.
So then this is nominations to the Cal LAFCO Board of Directors and designate voting delegate and alternate for the 2024 Cal LAFCO Board of Directors election. Okay. Got it. The first piece is nominations to the Cal LAFCO Board. Dunia, can staff walk us through this, please?
Sure. Every year, Cal LAFCO has openings on its board, and it rotates. So this year, for the coastal region, which is the region that Santa Clara LAFCO was part of, they are accepting nominations for a county member and a district member who would be seeking to be part of the Cal LAFCO board. And the process is that the LAFCO has to actually nominate the individual. So we're bringing this to you to see should there be anyone that's a county member, and our county members aren't here today, or a district member that would like to be nominated to the Cal LAFCO board.
Great. Thank you for that, Dunia. I appreciate that. And I'll jump in and say my hazy understanding of how Cal LAFCO assembles its board from the various regions, and like Dunia said, we're the coastal region, is they do this alternating schedule. So I think last year they were picking from city representatives from the coastal region. Now it looks like this time we're up for county and district. So if anybody wanted to propose Supervisor Arenas or Supervisor Lee in absentia to one of these, this would be the time to do it. And then also district members, so Commissioner, oh, thank you. Commissioner Bell, what's on your mind?
Okay. Mike's right here, okay. I think it's very important to have diversity on the board, okay? On the LAFCO, Cal LAFCO board, okay? I don't know what kind of diversity they have. I also noticed that the large urban areas in the Bay Area don't have a representative, so that's another issue. So more inclined to have diversity. More inclined, I mean, that's important. When you're representing the state, who is the state? Is the people in the state. And I think in order to do a good job, Cal LAFCO has to have a diverse board, urban, rural, suburban. And I looked at the membership of the current, and it didn't quite meet that standard. Okay, I'm just saying that, my opinion. So, I'm not interested in being on that, I'll just say that. But I think that we should have, whoever we support should have that criteria. That's my opinion. I mean, seeing how they operate in Sacramento and, lobbying and presenting legislation and being successful, I think they're going to have to do this, what I'm saying. Okay? That's it. No other comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. We appreciate your comments. Agreed. Let's see. We're looking for
Sylvia's fine. We want to make sure we don't get her mad by putting her on something.
We're at the pleasure of the commission.
I would propose Sylvia Municipio third, I guess. Is there one slot for the counties?
Yes, there is.
So today
County
we're-
member,
I would say her, she's a good representative.
See, that's what she gets for not attending.
There are many schools of thought on this. Dunia, when do we have to make this decision by, I wonder?
we need to have a nomination by September 16th, if we are going to nominate someone.
Okay.
All right, and I direct the chair to inquire of the supervisor. That would be how about that?
Yes.
Inquire to the supervisor.
And
About-
Dunia, when's our, I'm so sorry, Jean.
We have on the calendar an August, I'm sorry, what was the
Gives us
7th
time.
meeting scheduled?
I would direct the chair, the motion would be amended to direct the chair to inquire of the supervisor and say that the rest of us would like to see her on there, but if she doesn't want to take that responsibility, she's got other things she's doing. It's terrible problems right now with the budget, so she may be too busy to conduct this kind of work, but she would be an excellent choice.
I agree with that. So if the motion carries, I'd be happy to reach out to the supervisor. Also, the district members. Commissioner Bell, I heard your words. I do understand that. Then that would leave us with, that would have us at Commissioner Chapman and/or Commissioner Kishimoto. So I'll just toss that out there. Kind of looking in your direction, Commissioner Chapman, to see if you have and want to express an interest or anything else. We could start there.
I'm non-committal at this point.
And then, so I appreciate that. And then to my colleagues, I would also be happy to reach out to Commissioner Kishimoto to test the water. So if you're of a mind to amend the motion of direction to the chair.
I would amend the motion to inquire and get the opinion of Member Chapman and Member Kishimoto
Okay.
to figure out who would like to do that.
I have Arenas, Kishimoto,
Okay.
and Chapman.
So that would be the ones.
Okay. So we have a motion and a
I would
second.
make that as the amended motion.
Thank you. Okay.
Chair Melton,
Okay.
I believe it may be a light agenda in August, and in lieu of holding that meeting for this item, if there is the pleasure of those two members to serve, could the motion include that they would be whoever's interested would be appointed by the commission of those two members, for both of those two members? So we wouldn't have to return in case we don't have an August meeting?
Nobody would want to come back here in August if there's no other business to discuss. Mala, that's really good advice, and so maybe we could even further amend the motion to.
All right, I amend that further to for time
Pre-authorize,
to
yep.
include those directions of our attorney.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Awesome. I'm just going to do a quick opening and closing of the public hearing. Do we have any hands raised on Zoom to talk about this? No. Okay, very good. So seeing no further comment, then Sonia, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Kamei? Alternate Commissioner Chapman?
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner O'Neill?
Aye.
Chairperson Melton?
Yes.
Yes, we have 5 in support of, none opposed.
Okay, very good. And then next order of business, 9.4, designate voting delegate and alternate for 2024 CalAFCO Board of Directors election. Can we have a staff report, please?
So as we were talking about voting for the Cal LAFCO board, that is something that happens at the annual meeting, and Cal LAFCO asked that we actually designate a delegate and an alternate that is, represents our LAFCO in the voting process. So typically, it's a commissioner. I know it's kind of early. We're asking you a little bit early whether you're interested in going, and then we're also asking you about being a voting delegate. So if there is somebody, we could appoint them. I think the default would be for a staff member, like the executive officer, to be that voting delegate.
Is there, I'll jump in with a question. Is there any way that the LAFCO board today, because it is early in the process, is there any way they can delegate this to the chair or to somehow work it out amongst ourselves once the cards start to become a little clearer of who's going?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'll bring it back to the LAFCO for discussion or any questions. Last year, I recall I was appointed as the voting delegate, and Teresa, you were the alternate, maybe? I just can't remember.
I was there.
Okay. All I know is it's a little bit early on this to start deciding who's going or who's not going, so.
How many votes do they have? One meeting.
I did this last year, Jim. This is a great question. It was like a 8 a.m. meeting, so lots of coffee required to get to this conference room, and the nominees did some speechifying, and it was a very informal vote process.
All right.
Yeah. But I do remember the 8 a.m. part. That sticks in my mind. So,
Designate them.
okay. So I hear a motion on the floor to designate to the chair. Looking for a second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Kamei. So we have a motion and a second. Let me just double check with staff if we're heading in an okay direction on this.
I hit the wrong button. We were just confirming, the document says the commission is naming the individuals as the voting delegates. We were debating whether it may be best to just delegate two people who are attending and not actually name names. But I guess in theory, it's the commission who delegates the delegates, as opposed to delegating it to the chair and then delegating it. I don't know how closely any of this is reviewed, I will admit.
Okay. Thank you. We'll bring it back to the commission to see if we have any questions about the motion that's on the floor. Or if there's none, we can proceed with a roll call vote and work it out. Okay, I see no further questions or comments. I'm just going to do a quick open and close of the public hearing. And then Sonia, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Kamei? Aye. Alternate Commissioner Chapman?
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner O'Neill?
Aye.
Chairperson Melton?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, 5 in support, none opposed.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's keep going. We're going to move on now to agenda item number 10, commissioner reports. And let's see if the commissioners have anything to report. And seeing none, we'll keep going. We're going to move on now to item 11, newspaper articles, newsletters. We have the CalAFCO quarterly newsletter, and then an article from April 22nd in the Mercury News about the builder's remedy bringing, quote unquote, more urban sprawl. So those are the newspaper articles that we have. Any questions, thoughts, or comments about any of that? Seeing none, we can move on. Written correspondence. Staff, do we have any written correspondence to report? Okay. This may be one of our shorter meetings unless there's any further questions or comments. It looks like we're ready to adjourn. This meeting of Santa Clara LAFCO is adjourned to August 7th, 2024 at 1:15 p.m. here, and this meeting is adjourned at 1:50 p.m. Thank you, everybody.